This is the Smith Machine chest supported row for the upper and mid back. The stability of the Smith Machine and chest support allows for more control, as well as taking out the limiting factor of the legs and back compared to a bent over barbell row with no chest support. Now this exercise is harder than it looks to set up and perform, but stay tuned because I'll give you a step-by-step guide, as well as how to troubleshoot some common issues that may arise when setting up this exercise. For the setup, use an adjustable bench and set the angle between 30 and 45 degrees. The angle of the bench should be where you can lay down on the bench with the bottom of the chest on the edge of the bench like this, with the legs out wide, and be able to get a full range of motion, being able to fully extend the arms without hitting the safety bars. Right here, I have the bench at 45 degrees because the higher angle allows me to have a more complete range of motion. Another thing, as you can see here, I have a step-up platform on the legs of the bench like this to give the bench a little bit more height so I can go all the way down without hitting these safety bars at the bottom. You can also place a pair of dumbbells under the bench like this if you don't have a step-up platform. Next, place a bench so that the top of the bench is just behind the bar so that the bar doesn't hit the bench on the way up, or just so that the bar just barely hits the edge of the bench like this, like I'm doing right here. Now this is just going to depend on the overall build of the bench that you're using, the angle that you have the bench, and how low the bar is able to go on this Smith Machine. Now due to the nature of the setup, 9 times out of 10, this means that the rowing path that gives a full range of motion will have the arms abducted out to the side close to 90 degrees, meaning that the row will bias more of the upper back, but stay tuned because I'll show you how to perform this exercise to target the mid back. Now if your Smith Machine goes up at an angle like this one, face in the way where the bar is getting closer to you as you row up. Now to get into the movement, lay down onto the bench where the bottom of the chest is right where the sternum meets the abdomen. Have the legs out wide and forward underneath the hips so you get the best bracing, but also so that you don't push the bench forward as you do the movement. If you have the feet behind the hips, you'll push the bench forward as you row and it also might tip over. Also have the bar up a couple notches from the bottom so that you can easily get into position and grab the bar. For the hand width, grab the bar outside shoulder width, about the same width that you would do a bench press. But most importantly, at the width where you could feel it the most in the back and get the least involvement of the biceps. If you're using wrist straps, put them on a little loose so that when you unrack the bar, they fully tighten. Or else if you tie them all the way before you unrack the bar will want to rotate forward again. Now that you're in position, unrack the bar and allow the arms to fully extend before starting the first rep. Now on the way up, think like you are reaching the elbows and shoulders up towards the ceiling and squeezing these shoulder blades together. And as you row, you're going to drive the bottom of the chest into the bench like this, thinking like you're trying to point the chest forward, and make sure you don't let the abdomen come off the bench as you row. As you row up with the shoulders and the elbows, try to make sure that you keep the forearms mostly vertical or at the same angle of the Smith Machine. Do not let the elbows point excessively back and the forearms to flatten, because this means you'll be using more of the biceps and less of the back. Now avoid pushing the chin and head down as you row, keep the head neutral with the spine, and look forward with the eyes as it'll help you prevent from pushing that chin down. Now if you feel this exercise a lot in the biceps, one thing that can help you a lot is think like you're pulling through the pinkies, and super important, make sure that you do not curl the wrist as you row. Keep the hand in line with the forearm like this. Now on the way down, always slow and controlled, 2 to 3 seconds, and think like you're still pulling up through the shoulders and the elbows. And a huge tip is think like you're spreading the shoulder blades apart, and you'll feel a lot of tension and stretch in the traps and rhomboids. Allow the shoulders to slightly round forwards like this, again thinking like you're spreading the shoulder blades apart until you fully extend the arms. To get less tension in the biceps and feel it a little bit more in the rear delts, you can also think like you're slightly pushing your hands apart on the bar. Now, like I said in the beginning, setting this exercise up can be a bit finicky, and the setup can vary depending on the bench you're using, your height, how low this machine goes. So here I'm going to cover how to troubleshoot some issues, as well as how to perform this exercise for more of the mid back. As shown in the beginning, to get more range of motion, you can elevate the height of the bench using a step-up platform, or if you need just a little bit of extra height, you can roll up a mat on the bench like this, and can also provide more padding if your bench is a little bit too hard. Although not shown here, if you're on the shorter side and struggle to have the feet firm on the ground, right underneath the hips, you can elevate the feet using a couple of 25-pound weight plates or some small step-up platforms on each side. Now, if you want to target more of the mid-back, you can also perform it just like this so the bench doesn't get in the way as you row. As you can see here, now I can row between the bottom of my chest and the belly button to target more of the mid-back. And for more comfort or extra height, you can fold a mat underneath the chest like I'm doing here. Now, this variation will require more use of the legs than the previous version, but will still be better at isolating the back than a bent over barbell row with no chest support. Both of these variations are also a great alternative if you do not have a chest-supported T-bar row machine at your gym. Now, thanks for watching. If you learned something, please like this video. It really helps me out. And please subscribe for more of the best tutorial videos just like this one. See ya.